Hey.
Thank God I always stop before I throw the intro on.
True.
Um,
Then you can edit it later.
I hate that you do that.
yeah. Oh, it's on already. It's on already. Good.
Let's
Good.
get it.
It's working. We're live.
It's on?
Can you
We
All
live,
right.
Yes,
baby.
it is.
can you give me the
Live.
theme song, please?
No.
Damn.
Oh, actually, can I play it real
Whole
quick?
world.
Can I play a small soundbite from you
What?
guys' podcast?
Right
Yeah.
now? We want to do this right now.
Right
Before
now,
before the
Yes.
theme song. All right.
Before our theme song. Can I do that
Okay.
right now? Do I have
Yeah.
permission,
Yeah.
Craze, on your
Yes.
podcast?
Yes. Yes.
Eli Jas, do I have permission on your?
You have
Let's
permission.
do it. Come
And
on.
start to look into yourself and say, okay, what is it in me that's coming up that I don't like this person? What is happening inside of me, right? And like when you actually put the mirror to yourself, that shit gets very uncomfortable and it's gonna hurt sometimes, and you're not gonna want to look at what you see. So I applaud you, Crystal, for looking at yourself, because that's something that I do. But I also know that it took me a very long time to not be a hating ass bitch. Because when I was in college, I remember being a hating ass bitch. I had envy in me, and it took me time to undo that.
Yes, no, that is so true. Envy is such an interesting emotion because I feel like the second you feel it, that's the clue. Envy is the number one sign to look inward because it's not about the other person, it is about you.
Wow.
Word, Rick. Word, Rick.
All of us are like, wow.
So now
Word.
there's a teaser.
Word,
I love it.
Let's start the show.
Yeah, marvelous. Okay. Yeah, I'm on my Frank Lucas shit. 3-piece suits, Valentino cufflinks, LV shoes. I bring the shorty closer, just enough to feel the gun on the holster. Out on the balcony, feeling on the breeze. City skylines, we're puffing on some trees. Cup of Henny on the rocks with the soda. Maybach, front of the building with the chauffeur. Yeah, and he waiting on me. Got umbrella in his hands and my name in the seats. No gift, baby, no thanks, no chinchillas, baby. So what happened to Frank? No phone calls, transactions hand in hand. Give the drugs to Rick, the money to Benny Banks. Talk to Craze and he talks to me. Keep my business out the streets. It's the ART.
Bam, bam, bam.
Let's go. Yo, what's wrong with my hair today? Like, I feel like I can't get the right. My bad. Go ahead. Do your thing. Do your thing.
I don't know what to say that. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Rick H.
Hello.
My heterosexual life partner is on the other side of this thing.
No, this way. There you go.
Between me and Craze, there's a young musician named Eli Jas
Hi,
who does the
guys.
show with us. And today we are joined by another podcast. And they're called What They Never Told Us.
Let's
Crystal and Sasha, welcome to the show. I wish I had to
Thank
the
you.
round of applause thing.
We'll edit it in later. Don't worry.
Applause.
We will. And is that why Rick is okay?
Yep.
Eric started early.
Podcast.
Mozo's in the building.
Mozo. Hey. I love Mozo.
So, welcome to the show. I guess let's start off by introducing yourselves. Whoever wants to go first, let us know who you are, why you got into podcasting, and what made you create the podcast that you both produce. All right.
Damn.
Who wants to go first?
I'll let Sasha go first.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Let's go.
So I'm Sasha, the other half of What They Never Told Us. I am a licensed therapist. I currently work in higher education. I mean, psychology is like my life. So, I mean, that's a big reason as to why I wanted to. I know everyone does that. When I tell them, it's like they get scared immediately. I don't get why, but it's okay. It's a good thing. Psychology is beautiful.
A lot of issues might come. A lot of issues might come up on this episode.
I like that.
That's
take.
right. If you allow me, I'll call you up. But if not, I'll do it on the side. I promise.
Okay.
She will absolutely call you out.
We're live, especially us.
As you
We're
should.
live.
I don't mean to. It just happens sometimes. So I'm really into psychology, and that's the whole point of the podcast, right? Mental health. And I'm gonna say half of the story. I'm gonna leave the other half for Crystal. So I had been wanting to start a podcast for a really long time. I've been told by different people like, oh, you should start a podcast, you should start a podcast. Then Crystal and I did an event together and we worked so well. So after that, we just started talking and, you know, we were friends because we worked at the same place. And the pandemic hit and we were like, we should fucking start a podcast. And I feel like a lot of people did that. Yeah. But I will say ours has something that a lot of other podcasts don't have, and a lot of people don't talk about mental health in a real way.
Yep.
So we were asked to do a episode on mental health recently, and I thought first of all I wanted to collaborate with more podcasts. Your podcast was one that I wanted to have on the show, and we were also asked to do an episode on mental health. So I thought it was kind of perfect timing to do this. But let's bring in Crystal and let her introduce herself. Sasha, don't analyze me just yet.
Yeah, she's already started. Probably not. Just kidding.
She's not wrong.
So my name, she gets me on all our episodes. But anyways, my name is Crystal. I'm a licensed social worker. So that's my mental health background. That's my training. I obviously also work in higher education. So I kind of left the field for a little bit in terms of I was doing very like clinical work when I first started off. I was doing like individual counseling, group counseling, like crisis management, things like that. And I decided I was a little burnt out, so I left the field. So I currently like don't work in a mental health like within what you would think of traditionally as mental health, but I've worked to kind of like incorporate all of things mental health into what I do every day, into the way that I work with people, and into the initiatives and programs that I've started at my job. But in terms of the podcast, the event that Sasha was referring to was this event called Café con Tia that I had started for other Latinx students so that we could talk about just really like anything that came up, like all the things that we don't talk about in our community. We don't talk about mental health, race, gender norms, immigration, like all of these things. So I wanted to create that space for our students. So that's kind of how I started to incorporate my background into what I did. So I was like, I want to hold safe spaces for students. I want them to be open and be able to kind of like air out all of those things that you like you just don't talk about at home, and it feels like maybe taboo to talk to your parents about. So we did an event in the pandemic called Ask Tia. Like there's basically like because we were like the tias, even though we're not that old, but we're older than them. So we were like,
I was gonna say, like, what's the age? Why did y'all choose?
No. It's a little bit of an age gap.
Okay.
But not that much.
Why was it tia though? Like, why wasn't it like
because you know, like,
or
you can be like the older prima too. Also.
Yeah, no, prima would have been cute too. But the reason why is because you know, like when you have your cool tia, like that cool aunt that you go to, that you can't talk to your mom, but you could call tia and be like, yo, like I need to, you know, blah blah blah, like I need help. Like mommy can't help me. You know how she gets. Like I'm gonna call tia. So that was kind of like the thought process behind it of like we're gonna ask tia because she's cool and she's not gonna like go crazy on us.
Shout out to my tia Chana.
Yes. Shout out to my 5 tias.
It's a lot.
You know, it's Candida Araceli, China was also my madrina, Chabela, and Craze named Maria. So that's 5 tias. But let's get into this. If Craze wanted to tune in to what
who's the cool aunt though? Hold on. Who's the cool aunt?
First of all, I'm not catching flames on my own.
That's what I want.
If Craze was to tune in to what they never told us, what is he gonna get as far as like content?
By the way, I have tuned in and I like it, but
he's lying.
Oh, thank you.
I have. Well, on IG. On IG.
Okay.
Okay.
The clips. Okay,
so
I'll take it.
This is a safe space, so let's all be honest, okay?
Yes.
Please, Craze, please.
I'm always honest. I'm the most honest guy on this podcast.
I don't know about that. So
I'm not.
Look. Even Mozel said it.
Mozel got us muted while the Knicks game is on.
I did see
this
that.
Is defamation
so I'm gonna say this. So I did hear a few episodes, and I'm not gonna lie. Craze, your opinions, you're very direct. So I kind of believe you. I'm
Yeah.
very frank. I believe you're the most honest person with regards to like speaking your actual opinion, right? Like you're not about like
Yes.
being politically correct or like, oh, what if they don't like it? Now you just say it.
No, I'm not about being politically correct. Craze
Please.
don't give a.
You a politician, Papi.
I'm not. I'm not.
You live in Queens.
Hey, shout out to Queens though. What's wrong with Queens?
I'm just saying, there's more politicians out
Queens
there.
born
Than
and
this
raised.
I'm no therapist, but I feel like Rick is deflecting.
Yep.
Yeah,
Word.
Eric, I'm learning.
Okay, but okay with the terms.
Feel me?
Okay.
Let's get into it. I wanna get
Like,
into it.
yes.
Eric, I'm learning from you, my brother. Damn, we got
Vulnerability in here.
we got interrupted. So if we're tuning into what they never told us, by the way, thank you for coming out to our panel. We appreciate that, and we appreciate the questions you guys asked. I really like that. If we're tuning into what they never told us, what's something new listeners can expect?
Yeah, so I feel like we have a range of topics.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about like the kind of like the hot topics, like can men and women be friends, you know, like
Online dating.
So there's like the fun stuff where it's like, all right, like we're gonna have and then we're gonna get into some deep shit.
Oh no, y'all can analyze me. Do it.
I'm not gonna do it. See,
Hey,
I'll do it on
talk
the
your
side.
shit,
Promise.
Do it.
But no, so then we get into some deeper things like I would say like it even ranges. Then we kind of talk about like boundaries, you know, things like, you know, like how to attachment styles, right? So like, okay, like we're kind of moving on the spectrum, and then we get to the deep shit. Like we talk about trauma, we talk about we grew up without our fathers, like how did that impact us and like our lives and things like that. So it runs the gamut really in terms of like topic.
But I would say the thing that you will always get, no matter what we talk about, is our personal experience with whatever the topic is, right? So that's something that a lot of therapists won't do, right? It's always like this very like, I'm the doctor and you're the patient. And we just, what we wanted to do was break that boundary, because mental health should be for everybody. It shouldn't just be for like the experts.
Yep.
Absolutely. So go ahead, Craze. You were about to say something before I cut you in.
I was? I don't think I was. Well, first of all, I'm gonna say that like mental health is important to me. You know, like it's something that I have had issues with. Rick, you know, even Rick, and I'll share a little bit. You know, we'll go personal a little bit. We're gonna go a little serious. You know, with even the theme song, you know, of the show of Rick H. The Rick H. Show. You know, is one of our close friends that took his own life years ago, and so one of our best friends, we keep him with us through that. And so like for us, mental health, you know, our lens for mental health, at least I'll speak for myself, and I think Rick too, it kind of started there. You know, like we realized like that there was something else going on that we were not even really aware of, and like you know, so it's really important. So we love what y'all are doing. We want to support everything that you guys will do in the future. We think that mental health stuff is super duper important. We also supported our you know, some of our homies that do other stuff, my other projects, the Sneaker Talk Club.
Mozo, by the way, also.
Mozo's down with the Sneaker Talk Club, and you know, it's about creating spaces where, you know, we're breaking down this concept of toxic masculinity and just masculinity itself, and like we're talking about different things that, you know, make up our masculinity, and you know, mental health was one of the word up. Actually,
he's from the BX, so he don't got insurance. You know,
I definitely don't have. No, I have insurance. Let me not part shit. But we I think at the end of this episode, H, remind me to put a resource thing, because we did put together a resource list for
awesome.
Oh, get it ready.
Black and brown therapists, which I also think is very important, you know, to include in the mental health conversation, is having a therapist, like you said, not just somebody that you see with this lens of like, yo, this is a doctor, this is somebody very clinical. You want to be able to have a therapist that you can actually relate to and maybe connect with in a way, and so that you could feel like, you know what, the advice that this person is giving me, I can receive it, because you know their context, you know, they are taking into account my context with their context too. It's not this whole like clinical thing. But I went on a tangent. My bad. I appreciate what y'all are doing. And
it's fine.
Tell me, what do you want? Tell
your
me.
Your point was valid. No, I was about to go to.
Oh, okay, okay. All right. You got a little spicy tone of voice there, so I was like, I had to like.
No, I mean you brought up art, so it kind of like it took me away from my comedic.
I have to ask because now I am analyzing the both of you. How long have you two known each other?
31 years.
31.
Oh, wow. Okay. Crazy. Oh, y'all are related? Oh.
No,
yeah. No, we're not related.
Well, they might as well should be.
Not sort of, you know, sort of.
We're sort of related.
You know, yeah. So Crazy's brothers. All right, real quick. Crazy's brother was married to my cousin, and we have a niece together. Well, she's my cousin.
She's your second cousin, my niece.
So my second cousin, Crazy's niece, and then Crazy's son has my name as his middle name. So it's 30-something years
That's
of friendship.
That
yeah.
Cute.
If me and Crazy would have came along 6 years ago, there would be no D's as a middle. It'd be Rick H and Crazy.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's funny, but yeah. Yes, Rick. Yes, you're right.
Thank you. Yes. So, now you brought up art, so it put me in a serious.
Nah, for real.
Julissa Elise Jasmine Ruiz.
So I just need to say I love the fact that you guys ignite vulnerability. You know, I think it's very hard for a lot of us to be vulnerable. I think it's hard for us to just express our emotions, especially within, you know, the male community. Unfortunately, this is something that I feel like it's super important, and I feel like whether it's with women or with men, I feel like you guys bring that out, and even like with the topics that you guys talk about, which I haven't seen all of your episodes, but the clips that you do have on your Instagram, I have checked them out, and I think it's freaking beautiful what you guys are doing. It's just raw and it's uncut, and you guys just get straight to the point, and this is what we need, you know, in our community. We need that, especially in Latin communities, dude, because of the fact that it's not normal to grow up, especially when it comes to guys, to just express themselves, because it's told like, oh, you got to be a man, you know. And that's something that I've even been teaching my younger brother, who's 21. I'm like, hey, express yourself. You're around women. You know, our family is more you know, it's more women. So I'm like, you know what, it starts with us. It starts with the women to just kind of bring that out in people. So I feel like you guys are doing that, and I love it.
All right, so favorite subject you guys have touched so far on the show, and why? Let's start with Sasha, since she went first last time.
Yeah. So one of my favorite episodes was we named it For the Fatherless. It was about growing up without a dad in the home, and it's real personal to me, right? Because my dad, anything you could think of, he had it. He had addiction problems. He was abusive. He definitely had a mental disorder. And, you know, like, so my journey with my dad, it just kind of, I don't know, it was like real personal to me. And doing the research for that particular episode, I found out that was it like 1 in 4, Crystal, of like every child in America?
I think it was 1 in 7. I think it might have. Yeah.
Either 1 in 4 or 1 in 7. Yeah. 1 in 4 or 1 in 7 children in America grow up without a dad in the home. And majority of them are Black and brown, within the Black and brown communities. So it's like, that's wild to me, because then you just think about all the stress that's put on the mother, and then that's it. Mental health is the shit after that, right? Like, who's guiding you? Who's helping you?
So I'm gonna have to listen to that one. But Crystal, go ahead. It was yours.
I would say I think that one of the more recent episodes that we did that I really loved was Taking Up Space. And it was funny because this was like one of Sasha's like episodes. She's like, I want to do this, and I was like, I don't really like, I know what it means to take up space. Like, I understand it as a concept, but I was like, I don't really think that I've mastered this yet. So I was like, I don't know what I have to say about it. And then we got going, and I was like, boom, 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 boom. I was like, okay, maybe I did know a lot more about taking up space. But I think that it was one of my favorite episodes, because it showed me that, like, because we in our, like, when we say vulnerability, we are very vulnerable. Like Sasha and I, we talk about we do what we call therapy check-ins. So we let people know, like, we are mental health professionals, but we are in therapy, and we're going to tell you about our own process, because even though we have this knowledge, we also need support, and we also need help. We grew up in very, you know, like with trauma and things like that, and we're also healing. So I think that that episode kind of showed me, I'm like, oh, I'm really growing. Like, I've really, like, done a lot of work in therapy to get to this point where I can tell people what I feel, express my emotions. I'm centering myself and what's important to me. So that was one of my faves.
Beautiful.
So why did you, Sasha, pick that episode? And Crystal, why did you pick that specifically?
Yeah, I feel like growing up without a dad is something that's so common. Like, you know, like when I was in college, I remember all my friends like were Latino and Black, right? And like we would sit around the table and we'd all fucking joke about like, oh, haha, my dad's not here, or where's he at, or he's doing drugs, or and it's like a joke, right? It becomes like this huge joke, and then you get older and you're like, yo, that's no joke.
It's
I want my dad.
Yeah.
And like that whole term daddy issues, it's a real thing. Like there's a lot of us who have daddy issues, and like you go and
like,
you search for these things.
Yep.
I would say still me, and like I'm doing work, so like it's normal to have these things, and that's another thing. It's normal to have these issues, especially within our community. So it's like for me, that episode, I don't know, I like talking about the things that people don't talk about enough, and I don't like the fact that we're used to the dads not being home. Like I actually think we need to change that narrative.
So Rick Herrera and his wife, Alexandra Gutierrez, they recently wrote and directed a series called Dad Repeat, which is like therapy about dads not being there. And it was a subject that we covered when we had him on the show. I didn't grow up with my biological father. I grew up with a stepfather. So I kind of know what that's like. And he was working most of the time. So that is a subject that we don't bring up. And it does need attention. So I do understand where you're coming from at that point. And Crystal, why did you pick your interesting topic about taking up space?
Yeah, because I think it kind of, well, one I will say, to go back really quickly, I do love the episode that Sasha brought up, because for me, I feel like I kind of released like that. Whatever I had been holding on about my dad not being around, I kind of had released it in that episode. And I love that Sasha was actually like still upset and kind of like still processing. So I love that you could kind of see both aspects. Like we're both having this episode, but we're having different reactions. But why taking up space? I think because I just finally started to realize that I'm the most important person to me. And I think like for a very long time, other people were more important than me. Like in the episode I mentioned, like I finally centered myself, and like the person whose feelings matter the most, opinion matters most is mine. And it's not a selfish thing. Like sometimes when you grow up, you know, being a person of color, like you might have to take care of your parents, or you grow up in these neighborhoods that feel dangerous and you kind of go into survival mode. And it's hard to live in that world because you put yourself last in order to kind of like stay alive, literally and figuratively. And I think that with that episode, I was like, you know what, like that worked for me in the past. Like I survived what I needed to survive, and now I can finally put myself first.
Wow. So
that was real like that.
First of all, Craze, you're screaming into my ear right now. His mic is like, I don't know why his mic is so loud.
Turn my shit down. I don't know.
Oh, there you go.
I don't have no control over this shit.
I mean, this is good.
This is great. Good. So I shouldn't lean into the mic like this.
No.
All right, good. I'll be right here. I'm gonna be right here. Look. 8 inches.
No. That's perfect.
Also, can I just give a shout out to Mozo and everyone in the comments? But we love Mozo, so he's our favorite.
I love Mozo.
Facts.
So let me give you an interesting. So I did Mozo. Me and Mozo did an episode together. He hit me up. He's like, "Yo, let's do this together." And when was it? May. And I think that's how I found out about you guys. Because Mozo's brought a lot of, you know, Rebel, you guys, a couple other people, through just like people that were watching the episode and were asking questions that day.
Yeah.
I've always
Mozo's a cool guy.
I've always extended a helping hand to any podcast that wanted advice or wanted to ask or any of that. So yeah. Thank you, Mozo.
I'm interested in gossip. That's one of my interests. So I want to know what you guys were talking about when you had the topic of. There's two things that I was like, I have to listen to these, but I didn't have time to listen to them, so I'm just gonna ask y'all, and then I'm gonna listen to them. The toxic femininity one, and the can men and women be friends one.
Wait,
That's
hold
a
on.
spicy one. That's a spicy one.
Hold
and
on.
I'm really interested in what.
And Ellie, I know Ellie, do you have one too that you want to bring up?
If I have one at
Yes.
the moment, no. I have to do my research.
I love me some gossip.
Oh,
Shout out to
Let me back up off this mic so I don't get yelled at again.
Nah, it wasn't that. It's just when you came in and you were smoking, it was loud. But whatever. All right, so Craze, go ahead. What was the two? Can men and women be friends? And what was the other one?
Toxic femininity.
Toxic.
Yeah.
I never heard that term before.
You know,
so
it's
please.
something that we've
I've heard
discussed
of
as a term.
toxic masculinity.
As a term.
Yeah. So okay. All right.
So,
Wow, look at
I
Moses
was about-
patting himself in the back.
So you're welcome, right? You be putting people on.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Sasha hit the toxic femininity one.
Let's go.
I will say, yeah, because she got some hot takes on that one.
So let's.
All right. So I feel like.
Boom.
Like first, I was saying
Damn.
define it for me first. Like,
yes.
What would you consider in the definition? You know, the liberal definition that is just our opinions and it's not fact.
I don't even. Femininity.
Femininity.
All right, so let me try. So the way Crystal and I approach toxic femininity, there you go, was literally as like the opposite, like I guess, partner of toxic masculinity, because we had a good friend of ours. He was on the podcast. He did the whole Men in Therapy series, and he was talking about how his mom would hit him, and then how she would be like, "Don't cry." Right? And like we all have that experience. Like we get hit by parents and then we're told not to cry or feel anything. And then how he, as a man, would, the next time she would hit him, he wouldn't want to cry so he could prove his manhood to her. And that's some fucked up shit.
It is.
Like just hands down. So, and toxic and I do think, and I feel like I'm gonna get shit for this, but I really do feel that men get a bad rap. A bad rap or bad rep? Bad rep. Because of the fact that I get that men show up in ways that is toxic. I'm not going to deny that. But it doesn't necessarily change. It doesn't necessarily mean that women are perfect, right? Because women, we play into look at Rick's face.
Women are, hold on.
Rick don't want to get slapped by his wife, I think.
He's like,
and I respect that.
No.
I respect that.
No,
Yeah.
Okay. Women aren't perfect, but men
Rick. Think about the words you're gonna say first.
I'm gonna say it right now, even if
just say it.
Say it. Just say it.
Don't lose your point, Sasha.
Yeah.
She said women aren't perfect. I would say they're not, but they are closer to perfection than men are.
So,
we have a lot of flaws.
I feel like, first of all, as a therapist, I'm gonna advise you to not even have that train of thought, because you live with that, right? Like, when you talk about narratives, you talk about the way you think about yourself, the way you talk to yourself, you own it. And then you're going to use that as an excuse, right? Like, but babe, I ain't shit compared to you. And it's like, no, that's a cop-out.
Yeah.
No, okay.
That's my co-host right there. Okay.
No problem.
Yeah, I fuck with that. I fuck with it.
I'm just saying this.
Can I say my interpretation?
Can I say this? If we did numbers, right? I would love to do a study, right, on relationships, right? Man and woman are just, I'm talking about heterosexual relationships, right? I would love to do a study to see, because there's always in a relationship one that is not made better is a bad term, but I'm gonna say made better by the other partner. Yeah, an upgrade. There is always an upgrade. There's one that loves the other one more than the other, and there's one that has more flaws than the other. And it's usually the man that is more flawed than the woman.
I mean,
I don't know if I'm not saying this is scientifical. I'm just saying.
I feel like the girls are like, no. So, I feel like it's equal.
I just want to.
And if it is equal, you guys are hiding it better than we are.
No, you know what? This is just to finish the whole toxic femininity piece, because I know Crystal wants to say something. It's not necessarily that I think you guys are less than. I think that you're boxed in this way of how you express yourself, how you think about yourself. And you literally just gave that example, right? So women, what's toxic about us is that we also play into that, right? So like there's an example that Crystal and I bring up, like what happens if a man cries? Like, yo, like imagine your man, the guy who's supposed to protect you and, you know, do all these manly things with you. Yo, he's dead ass crying to you. Like, how do you handle that?
I
Sometimes
have cried
women,
to my wife
You gotta
and in
cry.
front of my wife.
Beautiful, but that's good.
And
Right, but
there is no problem with a man crying.
100%.
I
None.
agree. I agree, but I don't think that men have a lot of space for that. So
They
like
don't have
when
the
we
freedom
talk
to do that. Yep.
exactly. So when we talk about women's ability to choose, so women can choose to be feminine, girly, like take care of me, take me out to dinner, or she could be a badass, like I'm gonna be a police officer, I'm gonna like go fight this fire, I'm gonna be a, you know, like a bodybuilder, whatever. Like they have, women have a lot of space to kind of like choose how they want to show up in the world. And I'm not saying that we haven't had to fight, because, you know, we've obviously had a lot of feminist movements, like women's rights and things like that. And, you know, like, let's not get into like the political scene in terms of like our bodies and stuff like that. So I'm not saying that we have everything, but we've just had a lot of flexibility. And I think that when it comes to men, it's like you're a provider, you're a protector, you take care of your family, and then there's just not a lot of flexibility and room. And I think that women women say like, we don't want toxic masculinity because it's like the Me Too movement. You know, like men are harassing women at work and stuff like that. And all of that is valid. But I think that when men start to operate outside of the space of this like masculinity box, outside of those things, then it becomes like, well, now he's soft. Well, he's a nurse, right. Or, you know, like he's taking care of the kids, like, oh, he's weak, you know, like, so then we kind of start to judge them when they move away from that toxic masculinity. So it's like, if we're gonna tell men stop being toxic, then we need to accept them in all of the shapes and forms that they come in. And that's how women perpetuate it as well, because it's like, you can't say you don't like this, and then when they go to do something else, then also be like, oh, but I don't like that either.
All right, so let me clarify a point. I 100% agree with you both, right? Because Moses like, Ricky bugging. I am just saying this. Sometimes men are a little bit more flawed than women. And I've been on Watch Him Out for Mozo. I kind of produce it now. Thank you, Mozo. I am just personally saying from my experience, I 100% believe what you guys are saying. My relationship with my wife is completely different. You know, I'm myself with her. That's why I married her.
That's great.
You know? Yeah. And if Craze he brought up art the other day, like earlier, and it was just like boom, a lot of memories kept coming back.
It's emotional, yeah.
And it's 2012. A lot of things happened for me, him, and Lou, and a bunch of other people that changed the trajectory of our lives. You know, I grew up with only women around me, first of all.
Yo, that's true.
So I always seen a woman's point of view. And I'm just saying women go through a lot more than men do. And I've seen a woman get birth. And if it was a man that had to give birth, there would be no society today. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with those points.
I agree. That is all I am saying. That is all
I agree, and I really appreciate that. That's very sweet.
Yeah. Nice work, Rick.
Yes, men. First of all, this machismo shit, that shit bothers me, right?
You know, I think that we like
bothers me a lot.
Folks like me and Rick, right? We're in the generation of like, I always say we're in between these two things, right? Like we kind of grew up with a lot of like the toxic masculinity shit at the forefront, right? Like in our like teenage years, like adolescence was really like, you know, me and Rick grew up in between like 1999 and like 2005. And like where that shit kind of like, we maybe started to move away from toxic masculinity at that point, but was very much still like, if you think about hip hop in that time, if you think about, you know, just like New York, like the culture of being here at that time, like I feel like I think it's dope to hear Rick say that also, because I feel like our generation had to unlearn. You know, a lot of this shit.
Still to this day.
That's the thing that we, you know, I think that our generation sometimes struggles with is like that accountability shit, which is I think what you're talking about. I think what you guys are talking about in terms of the toxic femininity thing, the way I interpret it is that it's about, taking accountability for how you show up inside that relationship, right? Like you can say toxic masculinity, but you have to like also see how your behavior reinforces that, in the relationships that you have. So I think it's no. I think the point that you guys are making, and I love what Rick said, because that shout out the evolution of that ass. And I think that like if you spoke to 20-year-old,
oh
Rick
man,
or 20-year-old me, it would be a completely different, perspective and mindset. So I think one of the things that is missing from some of these conversations is like empathy and like
yes,
just seeing people as like, yo, we all fucked up. We all reinforce the things that were like passed down to us, and we're the ones breaking generational curses.
I'm gonna just say
lack
this.
of a better phrase.
If you don't have a father, you normally turn to uncles and like friends and guys you look up to, right?
Yeah.
And you try to emulate that behavior.
We grew up on the block.
Sometimes that behavior is not a good behavior.
Shout out to the Nemo spot, 174th and Wadsworth.
Oh my God.
Let's go.
Wow. So let's have some fun. So I am drafting Crystal and Sasha. I was gonna say Sasha.
What does motion mean? What does that mean?
He's blessing us.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
You guys are gonna represent the world right now.
All right.
Are you ready for that?
Oh, are we
I
playing?
love Crystal safe.
Are we playing Rick H versus the world?
Yes, we are.
Oh,
yes, we are.
let's go. Wait,
Grace, do you have the deck ready?
I do. Wait, hold up. Oh. Yes.
While you get the deck, I want to hear from Ellie's point of view, because Ellie is between two male co-hosts. And how did you feel about? First of all, I hear the rain in somebody's mic, and
Is that me?
That's mad peaceful. It's cool. Ellie,
so what do you want to hear?
How do you feel about that? Like, you're two male co-hosts, and we're having this conversation.
Listen, we need to have more conversations like this, and we need to feel more comfortable. I think this is beautiful because we are feeling comfortable in expressing our emotions, and it's good to hear from both sides. At this point, I feel like we're just being honest, and I love the fact that we got to speak a little bit about growing up without fathers. That was something that. Listen, that was something.
We might have to do an episode 2. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 100%. So, growing up without a father, especially from a woman's point of view, you have to learn, what to look for in a partner, and you actually have to learn that you can't look for love in the wrong people. You get what I mean? So that was something that I had to learn on my own, and I grew up with a very strong mother figure. And the fact that, you don't feel alone when you have these conversations, you feel more comfortable and you feel at peace after a while. Do I need to do a little bit more healing when it comes to that part? Of course I do. But it's gotten so much better from when I was in my 20s. Believe me, I was definitely more angry.
So
but yeah.
Let's bring in Sasha again. So how you been analyzing the entire Rick A show? Have you?
I mean,
have you?
Like, what are you looking for?
You have. I've been.
Word.
He said, "I've been."
What do you mean by analyzing? Like, I don't think any of you have like pathology. Like, I wouldn't like send you to go get medication now. But I mean.
So I would say, as a group, I'm usually not the one analyzed, but as a group, I think that there's a lot of love and camaraderie and stuff like that. I'm gonna need y'all to let Ellie talk a little bit more. I'm gonna need Ellie's voice.
First of all, she's the boss. All right.
I will say that's the one thing that when I listened to like some older episodes, like I was catching up, I was like, I want to hear more from Ellie. Like I want to hear her voice. I love the banter. I love the banter between all of y'all, and I love the respect that you have for her.
Can I explain just one thing about Ellie?
Okay,
right?
sure.
So this is the thing, right? You see her here. I'm gonna put her on the main screen. Right? you see her here, right? But off of this area and this podcasting realm, she's so bossy. She be telling me Craze what to do.
That's bullshit.
How to write all the stuff. Like, I want this person, I want that person, I want this person. No, the issue is this. Ellie's our brand new co-host, and she's still what do we got? How many episodes, Ellie, already?
It's been.
I'll look it up.
So it was 9 from the last season, and then this is what?
This
how many?
is number, I think, 5 or 6 or whatever.
Okay, damn.
So yeah, so it's this is the reason why originally the show never had a female co-host, because it was me, Craze, and my brother, and that's like we've known each other all our lives. But we got Jayla for a while. Jayla mingled in, and we had a nice. And now Ellie's just getting her feet wet, but she is the boss, though.
Yo,
Okay.
she running.
I mean, she got the most important job.
When I book someone, I'm like, Ellie, can we do a show where this person?
He's such a BSer. I swear to God. You know what? One thing that I will say is,
she's like, nah, I don't like that.
Let people,
I got personal
like
beef with this person, so she's not coming on.
Just to see what I can, add on to that, because you guys have made a lot of beautiful points. I think it's awesome. Lower key boss, so funny. No, you know what? And also, I'm learning also to, in a sense, embrace the fact that I do have a team, because I'm so used to doing things on my own. That's one thing that I am learning.
Yes. So Ellie's a musician, and we love her music. Yo, she's naturally talented.
All of us are
multi-hyphenate status, girl.
But all of us. Look, all of us are creators, and that's the reason.
Stop.
Like, but for real,
she can't take flowers just like me.
Stop it. But what I'm saying is the truth.
She's naturally gifted. She's a great artist. She's a great singer, and we try to plug in her music every once in a while, all the time.
I appreciate it.
Yo, do you have the video of me and you dancing to it?
Yo,
that was so funny.
I'll look it up. I'll try to get it. But we deadass try to give her own lane. So if Ellie wanted to talk as much as she could, we'll shut up and let her talk the entire show.
So you wanted me to analyze, Rick? I have noticed how sweet you are with Ellie.
Yeah.
Rick will literally look towards you wherever you are on his screen, and he'll be like, "Well, Ellie hasn't talked in a bit." Like I see him doing it, and then he's like, "Oh, Ellie, what do you think?"
100%.
So shout out to that.
I don't like to interrupt. I don't like to interrupt either. I'm like, oh, this is good, and I like to listen too. So
this is the Eli Jas show. It's not the Rick Gage show.
I cannot with you. Now I appreciate you guys.
Sasha,
so
we're gonna get a pela later, me and Craze, because
I'm gonna be with the belt over here, like
Cancer crab
manager. No, I'm a Cancer. Aw.
Yeah. I was about to say, if you're the boss or you a Leo, I was looking at.
But I have a lot of Leo in my chart. Like literally half of my chart is Leo. Mm-hmm.
Damn, we gotta talk about this part.
I got a Capricorn moon, so that's my balance. So people will probably not. Yeah. So you get it now.
I'll prove this to you, right? So I know Eric's watching. I know Roman's watching. I know Mosel's watching. Is Ellie a boss on the show? Yes or no? Just comment yes or no, and you'll see. That's all I'm saying. You'll see right now.
I feel like all of us are.
Are we doing this?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
So,
so we were lucky enough to be blessed.
We represent the world right now.
Ooh.
Introduce this, Rick. Tell them what we're doing here.
I need this card game.
All right, I guess I'll introduce this. Hey, are you gonna say something?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I feel like I am the most competitive person on the show.
You are
the best person on the show.
No.
I'm very competitive when it comes to board games, and Trago has decided to test me in that aspect, right?
Yo,
so Tragos has sent Craze a pack. I don't know what the card is.
Rick's never played this shit before.
They challenging me right now.
So I have the cards, and so this is first of all, shout out to Tragos for hooking us up with this, and shout out to the questions that are really dope. But this is really a drinking game. It's more of a drinking game. So we're gonna play it a little differently. Sorry, Tragos, we're gonna play it like the StreamYard version. You guys don't have to drink. What we're gonna do is
look at
Mozo.
I told you. You see, Rick and Craze are just pawns.
So I'm gonna do it my style, right? Where I'm gonna do 5 questions, right?
Thank you.
It's Sasha and Crystal versus Rick H.
Yeah, Ellie's the judge.
Okay.
The way that I'm gonna accept answers is you guys all have access to the private chat, right, on this side.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And so this is rapid fire. So if you know the answer, put it in the private chat. The first answer that I see come up is the one that I'm gonna accept as the right answer, right?
Oh, it's exciting. Cool.
Let's do the segment real quick.
Y'all ready? And this is, to talk about tragos, it's the board game for Latinos. I have a problem with that word, but so I'm gonna say people from Spanish-speaking countries.
Yes.
We heard your problem.
I heard it. Yes, I did.
Oh, you heard. Thanks. All right, so this is pretty simple. There's a couple finish this lyric. We have group trivia. Finish this sentence. I'm just gonna mix it
random crazy.
I'm gonna mix it up. So I'm gonna give y'all the first question is finish this saying. Calladita te ves más. Blank.
Oh, I lost the shit.
Yo, she was ready.
Ellie, who's the winner? Ellie, who's the winner?
So Crystal said linda. Sasha said, I'm gonna assume that's bonita. Even
bonita.
Listen, I'm competitive, so I just like
you was on the trigger. That's what matters. It matters if you put it in before ring. So Sasha and Crystal get the point. It is te ves más bonita.
Wait. Time out.
Yes, that's my co-host.
See, I already see some cheating going on right now.
Listen, you gotta be faster than that, Rick. You didn't even put anything in the private chat, so I don't know what you're talking about.
So here we go. I lost that one. So here
he did that on purpose because he wanted a swig. That's all.
All right. This is a gimme. It's just who's quicker on the trigger.
Let's go.
Como la flor con tanto.
Sasha got it.
Sasha,
I'm competitive. I'm super competitive.
That's my co-host.
First of all, I wrote amor, but it was AMOER.
You were trying to be like, it looks like you're trying to be French or Italian over there.
Okay. That's two.
That's two already.
I love this game.
That's two
to zip. Right?
Yeah.
Let's be clear.
Hold on, let me get my chat ready. All right, go ahead.
You want me to put it up to 7?
He
so
said.
We got 3 more, so I can catch up.
You're right.
I'm ready.
All right. What is the name of this medicine used to cure every sickness?
Oh, Vaporu.
No. You were supposed to put it in the chat.
Wait.
You have to write it. That's not
no.
Wait, hold on.
Wait,
hold on. I'm gonna ask the boss. Ellie, I said it. Does that still
didn't
count?
we agree to write it in the chat room?
We did.
The rules.
It was the right answer though.
Bro,
you did get it right.
The person that got it was Crystal.
You did get it right. Because you're gonna win anyway, I'll give you a point, Rick. So the last question.
Yeah. No, what you mean last?
That's 2 more, right?
Wait, 2 more
that's
questions.
3. That's 2 more. Yeah.
Sorry, Tragos. 2 more questions.
The comeback.
Right. Where do most Latinos put their pots and pans?
Let's get it. Y'all know where.
Oh, come on.
Bro,
I pressed return like 6 times.
Gotta be quicker than that. Okay, Crystal, you got that one.
Yes. I think when I finally became an adult and I didn't put mine in the oven and I still out of instinct check whenever I turn it on. Even though I know I don't keep them in the oven, I just can't. Just in case one day I forgot that I accidentally left it in.
I still do that though. I still do that. Yeah. All of them.
All right. So it's 3 to 1. Let's just get this last one. I already took the L. This is not going good for me already. But let's get the last one.
So last one is name the TV show host that everybody watched on Saturdays.
What Saturdays? So
boom, I got it.
I
didn't remember his name. I was like, Sábado, he got there. I'm like, girl.
Craze. If I give you his government name, do I get extra 2
You can't be making rules on here. No. You said no.
Hold on
a second. You took the L.
He would still lose.
The winners of this Trago challenge.
No. Eli Jas is the judge. Crazy just reading them cards.
Come on,
He
I'm just a host.
I'll give you half a point because
yeah,
half
sure,
a point. Half a point.
His
You
name
got
is
the full
Mario.
point.
Shut up, Crazy.
You get the full point. You get the full point. You still lost. You still lost. You get the full point. You still lost.
Mario Kreuzberger.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Okay.
That's really his name.
Well,
That's-
are we
right?
fact?
I
Hold
didn't know
on. Don't we don't
That's
have
your
a fact
man's.
checker?
That's your man's gum. Yeah,
Oh, what?
we could look it up.
We can Google it.
If,
Damn,
if-
Sasha.
hold on.
Sasha says
Hold
she
on.
don't even want you to have the half
don't
point.
even
She don't
believe
believe
you.
you. You don't know my co-host, okay?
She
That
don't
was
believe
shade.
you, bro.
Crazy.
FYI,
Yo,
okay?
Crazy. First of all, this is Crazy. You could look it up and you could share the screen for us. Oh, somebody wrote it. You see, Mario Kreuzberger. That's not how you spell his last name, but yes, that's his last name.
Oh.
I didn't actually know that.
Mario
Well, the
Kreuzberger.
important part is that Rick took this L. Thing.
You're still
And
listening.
you know he's such a
Mozo,
gracious.
he's so sweet.
He's so
He's
sweet.
such a gracious loser.
Yes.
That's also good.
Well, if I'm gonna lose, might as well lose. the
That
right
was
way.
our Dragos challenge.
Challenge.
Rick H versus the
Versus
world.
the
This time,
I think the world won.
the
you
world
know?
world won.
The world won.
The world
Like
won. The
like
world
it
won.
often does against
The
Rick
world
H.
won. Yes.
It happens.
I was about to say it's because Sasha and I are such a good team, but sure.
Absolutely.
Y'all killed it.
So
Y'all
most-
killed
Mosul said Mario Kreuzberger,
it. Ooh.
and then El Dracula. So
Yo, that was fun.
I'm gonna give you guys
Fun.
another amazing segment on the Rick A Show.
Ooh.
One that we haven't done here yet. It's
a new
part of Chatting with Jazz.
Let's go.
This one's called. Oh, that's
Nope,
not it.
wrong one. Wrong.
Remix.
Affirmation of the week. So
That's
this
what
is one of my
happens when
favorites.
you lose in tragos. Like
He
What are
went,
you
"Ay,
drinking?
espérate."
you forgot how to look at shows. That's what happened.
Drinking
I'll
over
move
there.
Ellie over here.
Okay, so-
Jameson Black Barrel.
Hey,
That's what
okay.
it is.
Damn, on a Tuesday. You see that? Okay, okay. Tragos
mean,
Tuesdays.
Yes.
I love that. No, but this is a segment that I like to do other than what do the cards say. And I put affirmations in my Lucid Lotus hat because, this is about using your intuition. And it's an affirmation that I pick out from the hat. I don't see it, although I know what's in here. But let's see what the divine wants us to know, or in a sense, how we can apply this affirmation to our lives. And everybody can have an opinion on that and just kind of give advice, Okay, I'm not looking. I swear. I kind of look like I was.
She's lying. But she's the boss.
All right. I picked two. All right. So we got, I love this one. So this is a song from my girl, Cokes Marie. And it says, "I'm not perfect, but I am divine." That's one of my faves. I really love this one. And, I love this one too. I am the main character. So how can we apply, let's go with the I am the main character, because this is one that I've never pulled out before. And it's one of the brand new ones. But how can we be the main character in our lives? How can we apply that?
Yo.
Sasha?
Oh no, so that's I'm thinking.
Yeah. So I will say, I think for me, I'm kind of in transition into making myself the main character. So I know that for me, I'm just like, what makes me feel good? What do I need? How do I prioritize myself? So like setting boundaries is how like I make myself the main character. I think just like self-care, what do I need? What am I feeling? And like making sure that I take care of myself. That's how I make myself the main character, because I find that when I feel whole and good, like everything just flows out of me naturally. It's when I'm burnt out, when I'm stressed, when there's drama, that's when I feel like I'm kind of out of whack. So I feel like if I prioritize myself, then I'm the main character, because I'm just gonna flow in a state of like it's just, I'm gonna be who I am and with ease. I don't know, like it things will just flow naturally in the way that they should. So that's how I feel like I would be like the main character.
I love that. I honestly think it's a beautiful thing when we can actually, accept the fact that, there are times that we're not going to be our best self, and there are going to be those days where it's like, hey, I'm not at 100%. I'm not going to be able to hang out today. Hey, I'm not going to be able to talk on the phone today. I don't want to talk to people today. And just being honest with your feelings, you know, and making sure that your cup is full before you can fill other people's cup. And that's something that I've been learning a lot. And sometimes I feel like maybe I can be a little bit too selfish, you know, when it comes to that, because I think I've been a giver. You know, I think about other people before myself, but now that I've been learning a lot to do that a lot more in my life, I'm like, you know, I feel more like me, and I don't want to be too hard on myself. Yeah, I love what Mozo said. Self-care. It's one of the most important things that we need to do. But yeah, it's a learning process. I'm learning about what's going to make me my best self and what's going to charge me up and what can't, you know?
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Sasha?
So everything Crystal said, and something that I've been practicing and putting myself first is, do I really want to do this? Right? So like all the time, like I think about what people think way too much. Like if you listen to the podcast, you hear like how it comes out of me. And like there are times when like people want to hang out and people want pieces of me, or something is going on with my job, or like I can't be there for my friends. And it's like at the end of the day, do I really want to do this? Right? Like is my heart in it, or am I doing it for other people? Right? Because there's this thing in like especially Latinx culture, like que dirán. Right, like what are they gonna say about me? Oh my God, so and so is gonna be mad. Oh my God, mommy's gonna call me up. How'd you do that? Right? So like for me, it goes down. It comes down to like, do I really want to do this? And even if it's something like work, right? It's still that question, because if I'm at least for me, I'm in a job where like I really love what I do. I love my work. I have a purpose, and is my purpose what I really want to do, even if I may be tired. So it still connects. That's how I show up. Yeah.
Yes, I love that.
Wow.
Yo, on point. I really think it's beautiful that you can actually be honest with yourself and your feelings. It's something that we, you know, I don't think, especially in our culture, we don't do that enough, unfortunately, you know. So, but Rick, are we doing the other segment?
Can we surprise what they never told us with another segment?
We're gonna do it. I'm gonna pick a random deck. I'm gonna pick one of my favorites.
Yes. So
I've been looking forward to this.
Oh, we're doing a reading?
Yes,
I
text Ellie, and since I pulled it up, might as well also do
Might
that.
as well. Thank you, Mozo.
Okay.
I appreciate that. Let's do that. Okay, so let's see. Whatever pops up. Let's see what happens.
Have you guys really want this, Crystal and Sasha? You want this reading?
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been looking forward to. I've been like counting down. Like,
Listen,
I'm like,
I need y'all on Chatting with Jazz too, so we could do a couple decks. Actually, I want to start in
Yes.
you know, doing that, and not only using like the oracle decks, but starting to work with the tarot, because it does get a little bit more detailed. But sometimes I'm gonna be real. Sometimes I don't do the tarot because it does get a little bit too detailed, where it's like, you don't want to say that in front of people. So, you know,
I get that.
Yeah.
That's why I say.
Okay.
I wanted this
that was
segment
awesome
on the show.
Word.
But
ooh, yo,
affirmation of the week, and what do the cards say? Chatting with Jazz.
Yo,
every
I'm
Thursday.
telling you, like they're always on point. Look at what fell out. All right, and I didn't do this on purpose. Positive affirmation.
Let's go.
That's crazy.
Yo, that's a fly looking card too.
Right?
It is cute, yeah.
Can I say something how crazy that is? So this morning I was listening to like a motivational podcast that I listen to in the morning just to get my day started. I don't do it every day. I'm not that cool. But
I try to as well. It's hard.
Yeah, it's really, really hard. But in the talk, he was discussing how like there's a difference between talent and skill. And how like a lot of people they hone in on talent too much. They talk about it so much because it kind of almost feels like there's nothing you can do to have it. It's just God given. Right. But when you have a skill, you work at it. And one of this and he spoke about skill as learning how to be positive, learning how to change your thinking. That's also a skill. And like that's something that was on my mind all day. That's crazy.
Ooh. And look, you want to see the other card? Look at what we got. We got chanting. So look, this is us basically. So let's say you are listening to music. I was listening to, there's this artist.
We're listening to Eli Jas, El Afan.
Listen, well, not today. That's not, I didn't listen to myself today, but right. I tried to, because I'm like, you know, but her name is Gayatri Krishnan, and she has a song called 444. And what it's basically the whole song is an affirmation. And I was like, yo, we need to be incorporating that into our, you know, everyday our positivity. We have to add that to our, you know what I'm trying to say, right? I'm like, I totally went blank.
Ellie, you gotta send me a song every morning.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
need to
imagine.
listen.
Good morning. No.
Please, a song.
Wait, can I be added to that group chat too?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Good morning, guys. Yo, but this is actually beautiful because it's like, at the end of the day, we need to set ourselves right up for, to manifest our dreams. We need to manifest the life that we desire. We need to manifest our, desires. And it's really hard sometimes when you're not focused. And I feel like what's happening here is like, hey, set your goals and focus on what you're supposed to be focusing on. It's so easy to focus on the negativity, to focus on things that we're not supposed to, that are not going to help us grow, but focus on the flowers. Look at her, like she's just like focused on what she needs to. And with
And
the
say
affirmations, facts. And look, the positive affirmations, it's so important to kind of program. What we're doing every day is reprogramming ourselves, to think positively and to make sure that we're on the right track. And yes, is it hard? Hell yeah, of course it is. But we're well on our way because we know what we deserve, and we're paving our own way, and we're doing it with, I feel like we're doing it effortlessly just by being, not trying so hard, not thinking so much about it, but just being right here in the moment, in the present moment, is going to help do that. So yeah, I think, we're good. We're on the right track. I love these cards. You see why I like this deck?
Yo, I love the art on those cards too, by the way.
Facts. I'm telling you. Look, if anybody wants to get these, they're from Jill Pyle, the Sacred Self-Care deck. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Of course, always.
For this. I was so excited. I love it. I think it aligns perfectly. And I feel like Sasha, she was like, ooh, with the 444. So I'm wondering if you're like connecting to that.
Oh yeah.
No, yeah, that's my lucky number. Every time I see 444, I swear to God, since 2000,
you're born in April?
No, my birthday is in May. But in 2000 and how old was that? 2014, I broke up with like my really long-term boyfriend, and I remember I was like horrible.
She's gonna have to talk about it now.
What's his name?
No. Listen to the podcast, and you'll hear everything about my life. Yeah. So I remember, like, I was still down in 444. Started. No, he didn't. We were young.
Yeah, the young love, girl. That's what hurts the most. Yeah.
That one hurt. Yeah, that one hurt.
No, but ever since then, 444 has been like my affirmation. Like I'm on the right path.
Yo, that's crazy. Listen, I'm gonna send you that song then, because honestly, it set my whole day up for greatness.
Well, me, Crystal, and Craze want the song too. So
yeah,
I
want one every morning.
Yes. Affirmations every day, and why not? This is something that we have to kind of reprogram ourselves, and we have to, just be aligned, and we need to help each other do that. We need community. We need to help each other. So we're doing that though.
Hell yeah.
So Aliyah, I know you're the boss, but I'm gonna hold you to that. I'm gonna text you tomorrow. Yo,
do it. I'm up in the morning. Let's go.
Rick always calls me with negativity. I need more positivity.
Stop it.
What are you talking about? Crazy. Only negativity?
No, not only negativity, but a lot of negativity. Yes.
Well, can I say something? I guess I'm gonna try to segue this, but I will
only
say
negativity. Go ahead.
So our podcast is obviously called What They Never Told Us. So like, like I want to hear from you all, like, now that you're adults, you are all aware of your mental health, you're I'm sure you're doing your healing and your growing journey. Like, what's one thing that you wish someone would have told you growing up that you were never told?
That's my co-host right there.
Wow.
That's my co-host.
I love that.
Hold on.
I like that segue. I'll go first.
What is one thing you wish?
Can I go?
Yeah, Ellie.
I feel like Ellie go first, because she just blessed us with the good vibes. So I feel like I want her to go first.
And you are the boss. Don't forget, you're the boss.
That too.
That's it.
Yes. So, Ellie, you go first.
So I wish, and it's not something that like wasn't, in a sense, I didn't believe it. It was told to me, but I wasn't believing it until now, until like, I started doing my healing work. But the fact that sometimes when you think you're failing, it's just redirection into the right path. That's for sure. That's what's been in my mind. I'm like, was it really a failure, or was it redirection into your greatness? So it's a realignment. That's all.
Yes, I love that
I put out a
reframing.
post this morning about not winning any of the 9 awards we were all nominated for, and them awards don't hold no validation for me personally. It's nice to get nominated and it's nice to win, but I had a conversation with Ellie and Craze, and what we've done this year, as far as what we've produced, I feel like none of those podcasts actually beat us as far as content. The events we've put on, the connections we've made, anything that we've created this year has been out of this world. And I look forward to doing the same thing next year and making it even bigger. So, just for me, something that somebody told me, what actually matters is your opinion, not somebody else's.
Boom.
That's right.
So true.
Yes,
That's right.
absolutely.
I wish somebody would have told me how to fix my credit.
Yo, that's unbelievable.
No, that is
Financial literacy.
But
No. Can we
literacy.
talk about this? Financial
Financial
literacy
literacy.
is
That's what I'm talking
something
about.
that they don't teach in public schools, and it's
They
something
used
that is
to.
really needed.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
And they used to.
I mean, they
They
teach
really
it. They teach it.
Home economics. They used to have classes.
They teach it. Sasha, they teach
didn't
it.
know
I'm saying they used to. Before we
So,
went to school. They used to.
If you live in a suburban neighborhood,
Yeah.
it's predominantly average income where it's like I'm gonna say 200 or plus.
If somebody would have at least
100% teach it to you.
explained to me what the fuck credit was and what a LLC was, like just some basic shit. Not even like a business degree. Like just this is how you write your checks, or this we don't do checks anymore.
Not even that.
I'm dating myself, but I'm saying like.
I still read checks.
How to manage your finances, how to
invest,
how to have a low saving,
right.
Just shit that like no one ever.
Normal shit that other people learn that we don't.
No one ever told me. I had to ask. I had to go figure that shit out.
Thank you, Chris. I want to thank Sasha and Crystal for being on the show.
Y'all are the best. Love y'all.
Thank you. No, we love you. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yes. I would like to invite y'all for part 2.
Yes, please.
Yeah. We'd love to. Yeah.
Yes.
Where we could write this together and do it together. Maybe we'll do it live. Thank you for being on the show. We've never touched this subject on our show before, so you've been the first. And if you want to subscribe to their podcast,
yes,
it's called What They Never Told Us. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did. You did your homework.
What They Never Told Us. And follow them on Instagram at Never Told Us Pod.
Boom.
Yes. And on TikTok. If you're on there.
Yes. Yep.
Oh yeah.
I just got on the TikTok.
I don't even know.
I just got on the. That's how you know that he's too old for TikTok. I just got on the TikTok.
I'm gonna age myself even more than Craze.
Oh no.
People kept telling me what TikTok was, and I thought they were talking about a clock. So I didn't even know it was. Thank you to Talk Your Shit for teaching me what TikTok is.
Nice. No, Talk Your Shit TikTok is cool. I checked them out. Like they got some great. I was like, okay,
I didn't even know
masterclass in marketing, because them snippets. I'm like, espérate, let me go check out that episode.
Yep.
I didn't know what viral meant. I did that podcast with Craze and Rebel, and I was like, what the hell? They sent me the stats, and I was like, oh, like this is Instagram. They're like, no, it's TikTok. I was like, what's a TikTok?
What's that?
TikTok is a clock.
We're on it now. We're on it now.
No, they're an up and coming podcast, just like you guys, and something you guys need to listen to, subscribe.
So many dope podcasts.
Follow.
Yep.
Please listen to Never Told Us.
Please.
To what they never told us.
I'm gonna listen to the follow this episode. I'm
Yep.
gonna listen to the one that Crystal said, which was about space.
Taking up space.
Taking up space. Yes.
Because I didn't answer my other question, but we'll save that for part 2.
Oh, we'll save that for a part 2
Part 2.
because we
Yeah.
definitely have opinions.
And you have to listen to the episode and then you bring notes.
Mhm.
Oh, because
Okay.
actually, that'd
Fair.
be dope, actually.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
I'm about to do that. Next week on the Rick A Show, we'll have members of the ensemble of the Checklist, which is now on Broadway. That's something that happened today. So that's going to be great.
Okay.
Check us out then. And then follow Never Told Us Pod on Instagram and follow the Rick A Show.
Peace.
We'll see you guys next week.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, marvelous. Okay. Yeah, I'm on my Frank Lucas shit. 3-piece suits, Valentino cufflinks, LV shoes. I bring the shorty closer, just enough to feel the gun on the holster. Out on the balcony, feeling on the breeze. City skylines, we're puffing on some trees. Cup of Henny on the rocks with the soda. Maybach, front of the building with the chauffeur. And he waiting on me, got umbrella in his hands and my name in the seats. No gift, baby, no thanks, no chinchillas, baby. So what happened to Frank? No phone calls, transactions hand in hand. Give the drugs to Rick, the money to Benny Banks. Talk to Craze and he talks to me. Keep my business out the streets. It's the ART.